So it's been more than a month now since I came up with my last update, and one will think that there should be a clearer statement, or there should be a clearer idea of this whole situation. But on and on and on, we're still here with the confusion. And what's up now is that the schools are not even prepared at this point. So now let me just brief you on what has been happening so far.
Living life, every day, late at night, not okay, all I want, and I pray.
Most of you must have received emails from your school now telling you how much the fees is or how much school fees you're supposed to pay. But the interesting thing is the figures they've sent out to every one of you is not the fixed figure. That figure has not been approved. So if the government comes and says it's so small, we approve you to charge higher, because they're likely to get more budgets cut. So it's likely that that figure might not be the actual figure you would pay, even though you've gotten the figure from your school. It's just what was asked of them to do, to come up with figures they feel will be the amount to cover up for the costs, cover up for the cuts in the budget. And so every school looked at their own situation. They looked at the services they provided. They looked at all what it takes to provide education to each and every student of the school, and they came up with figures that suit them best. And with that, they were still concentrating the whole competitive market, because now they are entering into the competitive front. They do not want price to be a deterrent, which already is. So that's the whole situation now. The school had no other option than to bring out the figures, because that was what was required of them. And the other thing is the figure that was submitted by the BOT to universities I mentioned in my previous video. The ministry asked for that. That figure has still not been approved. The BOT universities came up with prices that they feel should cover certain course categories, and that figure has still to be approved by the government to see if that's the one they would go for, or they would decide to go for the figure with the schools. But I think the initial plan, or the initial arrangement, the main arrangement was for everyone to have the same fees. And in a meeting where the University of Oslo sat to discuss how much fees should be charged, they concluded that they would like for more time to be given, but then they had no other option than to provide figures also, because that's been requested of them too. And so they had to provide figures. But then they are having a few challenges. The first challenge is they do not have a database on the citizenship of the various people. Based on the data they have available, they do not know which of the people are already permanent residents, or the group of people that are supposed to be excluded from the whole thing, those that have the exclusion benefits from it. They do not have data on that, and it's going to take a lot because of the whole privacy situation. They do not take data on that information. So at this point, if they even are set to charge a certain amount of money, they do not know who will be affected. So some of you might have to pay fees even though you're not supposed to pay fees. Some of you might not pay fees even though you're supposed to pay fees. Like, it's all messed up like that. So it's The only way to rectify that will be to contact the student when you've gained admission. Hi, do you have a Norwegian residency? Are you a permanent resident in Norway? Before they'll be able to determine the years, you will not have to pay fees, and that's going to be very messy. They do not have any system in place for that. And they are also of the view that this whole thing is in a rush situation. They do not have mechanisms to collect the tuition fees from students from all over the world, so they would have to set up a payment system, and with that they are not ready for that yet. It's going to take a lot from them to do that. That is also one problem. So they would have to look for those that are IT specialists to come and do that, and that should take a while. That's another issue. Now the third issue is that universities in other countries that started charging the whole tuition fee thing were given a period of time. Sweden, I heard, was given 2 years to put things in place, but here is the case, Norway is giving them just 6 months, and that is tying them down. It's all a rush work, and they feel the system is going to fail. According to all the schools, they're still pleading that this whole thing be postponed. It's like, fine, if you feel you want to charge tuition fees, start it next year. That's going to be better for all. But I think the government is trying to avoid that, because if they start it next year, those that started this year will not pay tuition fee till they finish. And yet I think they're trying to avoid that and just make sure that they start charging you from this year so that you pay till you finish. That is the plan. And other universities are also scared that the amount they've charged is too high, because now, per the figures, University of Stavanger is the cheapest now, per the figures that have come out so far. And if that's the case, all students who want to go to the University of Stavanger, because it's considerably cheaper than the rest, relatively cheaper, so all students will want to go there. And other universities are now scared that because they've calculated it based on their cuts, and if this is what they charge, meaning it's going to kick them off the market. No one will come there, and certain departments would have to close down because of that. They would have to lay off some staff because of that, because some departments are just mainly for international students. It's not that it's fixed for international students, but those are the courses that are attractive to international students. So they are very scared that that might happen, and that will be the situation. It's so sad that we've been on this whole thing for a long time and we still do not have a clear path. But everything just shows that there is uncertainty looming. Everything just shows that things are not clear. Everything just shows that there is not enough preparation. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'm just here to entreat you to subscribe if you are not yet subscribed, and stay tuned to keep you updated as to when any information comes. And we are still hoping that this whole thing will not be implemented this year. We still hope that. We hope that it would even be implemented at all. We hope it to be just discarded and be a thing of the past again. That's everyone's hope. And I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.